Hello, I'm Paul Pluta. I'm the method actor who plays ArchieLuxury. Welcome to the Paul Pluta channel, where I get to do paid reviews. Remember, like, subscribe, and tell your fuckhead friends. Remember also, paid reviews are $20 US. You can ask me advice. Paid phone calls. I'm available. I've even got some watches for sale. Look in the description. There's a link to the ArchieLuxury for sale section. Let's jump right into the mail bag, fuckers. The mail. This is paid reviews. First video request is from Gilbert. Hi Archie, I deposited $40 to your PayPal account for a YouTube video review. I was reading about watches on an internet forum when I came across this content. I found the comment interesting, so I copied and saved it. See below. I was wondering what you think about it. Please speak to this comment in your video review. And this is the comment. When I was in the Marines in 1966, they were selling Rolex Submariner model 5513, no date, for $180 US on Navy ships. I decided to buy a Zodiac Seawolf instead for $120. After 50 years, it seems obvious to me that it's probably always better to spend more to get real quality. However, nobody really thinks about what their purchase will be worth in 50 years, or do they? What would the value of a good condition 5513 from 1966 be now compared to a good condition 1966 Zodiac Seawolf? Thanks again and best wishes for 2017. Sorry about the spacing. This is a cut. Yada yada yada. This is for Gilbert. Fuck me dead, Gilbert. Fuck me dead. A Rolex Submariner 5513 was $180 and a Zodiac Seawolf was $120. Fuck! How could he get it so wrong? But let's not be so harsh, because there is a bit more of a background story to this very question. So let's just back the truck up. So this is a very interesting email. Now, if we look at what is $180 in 1966, well, this is the problem, fuckers, is that it's a pretty nasty thing. So we've got to be very, very careful how we do this. And I'm just calling up an inflation CPI calculator, which is very interesting. We can look at this here and see what. So let's have a look. $180 in 1966. 1966. Let's have a look. 1966 in today's dollars. $180 in today's dollars would be $1,340. Wowzers! See, Rolex has beaten the CPI calculator. Now, if we looked at the Seawolf, see, the Seawolf itself was $120. $120. That would be the same as $893. So, yes, he made a big mistake. Now, the problem is, fuckers, how do you know which brands will be successful, which brands won't? And the honest truth is, some brands are successful, some aren't. And you can't really tell this shit. That's the problem. This is the whole problem with it, is that some of these things here are valuable, other things not so valuable. So it's very hard. Now, what is a Zodiac Seawolf going for? Well, you know, they're just going on to Chrono 24. There's quite a few different Seawolves, but they are going to be, I've got to change this into US dollars. I had this set to UK pounds. Let's change it. So a Zodiac Seawolf, there's some pretty, this is a, actually that's probably, just look at standard Zodiac Seawolf, 700, 800 bucks. Okay. He doesn't say exactly what version, but the Zodiac Seawolf uses a Valjoux 7.2 movement. That wasn't such a big bad thing in the day because the Rolex Daytona used a Valjoux 7.27 movement. So how do you pick this shit? How do you pick it indeed? And if we have a look there at a Rolex 5513, let's have a look at a 60s version of that there. What would be looking at? I can tell you now. You're going to be looking, depending on the dial. You want one which the dial hasn't been fucked with. You're looking at big money, fuckers. Big money. Big money. You're not going to get much change out of 6,000 probably, depending on what sort of, there's a lot of things here. There's a lot of things here that come into play on this type of watch, but you understand what I mean. It could also be if he had an Explorer dial one, it'd be worth like 80,000. So there's so many. Now I got to tell you the truth. There's so many variations, and you know the other thing that happens is that these watches also, what do you do with it? You take it to a watchmaker and he changes parts or does this. You send it to Rolex for service. That's no guarantee of preserving the value because Rolex could possibly change the dial out. You would be fucked over big time. So, you know, it's very hard to say exactly, but this is what happens. There are some watches that go hugely up, some don't. Now, the other interesting thing is, say the guy in the 1960s would have bought a dress watch, like a Vacheron or an AP, that also wouldn't be that valuable. A small 33mm dress watch. So it doesn't mean paying more will get you something that's going to be valuable. It is bloody hard to crystal ball this shit. It is bloody hard to crystal ball this shit. And yes, it's easy now to say Rolex, Rolex, Rolex. Well, it's hard to pick these things. It is very, very hard to pick these things. However, what can be said is that if you're buying a new watch today, if you were a Marine today, get the fucking Submariner. Not that the Submariner would be $1,300 equivalent dollars. It'd be a lot more coin. So it is a very, very difficult equation. It's very hard. You know, the answer, my friend, is not so clear. Because if they would have gone for a... Datejust at the time. Well, the Datejust at the time would have been a lot more expensive than the no date sub, but second-hand wise, nowhere near as valuable. So not only do you have to pick the brand, you've got to pick the brand, the model, etc. So it is a very tricky thing. It is very tricky, and this is what life is like. You can't always pick these things. How do you know? If only we would have bought a house or bought an apartment or done this. Inflation. But the reality is the Rolex Steel Sports have gone crazy. And it's hard. It's hard to know. What does the future say? Well, what's to say in 50 years' time? What's to say in 50 years' time watches don't vanish? What is to say they don't just all vanish? For example, nobody wears them like a pocket watch. Why would you wear it? You know, pocket watches, they're very good bang per buck compared to a wristwatch because they're not really usable in everyday life. So they're kind of They're harder. I mean, there are some very expensive pocket watches, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, immediately you compare a pocket watch to a sports Rolex. I mean, there's no question the sports Rolex wins hands down as far as value goes. So what is the next 50 years going to say? I mean, maybe wristwatches disappear altogether. I mean, how many people today really want to own a wristwatch? How many people want to own a wristwatch? How many? The numbers are going down. So what's to say any of this will even matter? So it is a very interesting equation, but hey, buy quality, enjoy yourself, and you'll have no regrets. I'm Paul Pluta for the Paul Pluta channel. Tell me what you fuckers think of that. See you later!
We specialize in the repair of Rolex and Patek Philippe watches. We've been doing the same thing for more than 25 years. We have Rolex technicians certified by Rolex who actually used to work for the company for many years, like if we're doing the work on the factory. We completely disassemble the watch and we put it to work like brand new condition. When you get a pre-owned watch, it's like if you're getting a brand new unit. The only difference is the money.